Okay, hi students. So today we're going to talk about two different verbs and how you can tell the difference between the two. And the two we're going to talk about today is sit or set. So that's sit, or set. So what we know, they are both verbs. Sit and set are both verbs. So that means we can change them into past tense, right? So sit is present, the simple present. Sat is the simple past. Set, this one's an easy one because you can use set for present tense, but you can also say set for past tense. So super easy for that one. So sit is simple present, sat is simple past, set is simple present, and set is simple past. And these are two different verbs. So sit, what does sit mean? So sit or sat, it means to rest in a seat. So like a chair or a couch, anywhere that you can sit down. And it also means to be in a resting position, meaning when you sit down, it doesn't have to mean that you sit like this lady right here. It could mean that you're sitting on the ground with your legs crossed. It could mean that it just means that your bottom is on something and you're sitting upright, right? So it just means that you are resting in a seat, you're resting on the ground, or you're just in a resting position. Your body is sitting, right? So it just means that your bottom is sitting, right? It just means you sit in a seat, you sit on the ground. Sit is different from like if somebody said lie down. So if somebody said, oh, I'm going to go sit down, and if somebody said, I'm going to go lie down, those are different. Both of them are what you do when you rest. But when you lie down, it means that your body's flat. But when you sit, it means that the top half of your body is upright. It means that it's up and not laying down. But so you sit on the couch, you sit on a chair, you sit on the bed, you sit on the ground on a step. So sit is just when you rest in a seat, when you're resting on something level, and your body is upright. So you're not laying down on your side, but you're sitting upright. So I wanted to show you all the different ways you can use this verb. So I sit next to my friend on the bus. That's simple present tense, right? I sit next to my friend on the bus. It means that I sit next to my friend a lot when I'm on the bus, almost all the time. I sat next to my friend on the bus. Sat is past tense, right? So sat is it was one thing that happened in the past, something that happened in the past. I am sitting down, right? And that's the present progressive, right? Or present continuous. I am sitting down. It means that you are sitting down right now in the moment. I have sat here for a long time. Now this one is the perfect tense, right? So the present perfect tense. So I have sat here for a long time. One of them that we learned, right? So this, instead of having like a special verb, right? So do is simple, did is past, but then you say done for the special verb. For sat, you just say sat. It stays the same as the simple past. I have sat here for a long time, or I have been sitting here or been sitting for 10 minutes. Or I will sit in a minute. This one's future tense, right? I will sit in a minute. So those are all some of the ways that we've learned how to use the verb. But the point is that when you say sit, it means that you're going to rest, but it means you're going to rest by putting your bum on something and sitting upright. You're not going to lay down. You're going to sit, right? So that's what sit is. Now set. Set means the focus of this verb is, it's also, when you use the verb set, it means that it's used when something's set down, it means that it rests there, right? But the point of it is that it's, you put something there. You or somebody else put it there. It didn't decide to do it on its own, but you set it there, right? It just means that it is on something, right? You set something down. It means it's to put something down. It's not that it's sitting, it's set. I set it down. So it's to put something down or to place something. And also we use it in English to, it means that we let something turn solid. So an example that I have is like flan. When you make flan, it has to set, right? So it's liquidy and you have to put it somewhere and let it set, and it turns into a solid that you can eat, right? It turns into like a jello-y dessert. It's kind of jiggly. So when you say, oh, I have to have this set, it means that it's something that was a liquid that is going to turn into a solid. And a liquid is like water, something that's drippy and goes everywhere, right? A solid is something that is whole. You can't, it doesn't run everywhere, it doesn't spill, it's a solid, right? So I'm going to show you some of the ways you can use set. So you could say, I set the table, right? It means that you put stuff on the table. It's something we say in English, I set the table. It means that you put the plates down and the cups. It means that you put things down on the table for dinner. The next one, I set my computer on the desk. That means that you grabbed your computer and you put it down. My nails are setting. So that's an ing verb, right? If you say my nails are setting, it means that your nails are drying. It means that it's drying. It's turning into a solid, right? Kind of like with the flan, where you set the flan, it goes from being a liquid that drips everywhere to a solid that's a whole thing that doesn't drip at all, right? So my nails are setting. It means my nails are drying. So they're not liquid anymore. It's so that they are hard and they don't rub off on things. I have set the keys on the table. When you say I have set the keys on the table, means you put them down there, right? I have been setting it in the closet. Now, this one's like, what does this mean? I have been setting it in the closet. It means it's just another way to say I've been putting it in the closet, right? I've been putting it in the closet. I've been setting the vacuum in the closet. I will set the groceries in the kitchen. It means I'm going to put down the groceries. I'm going to take the groceries and put them in the kitchen. I'm going to set the groceries in the kitchen. So that's what it means. You're just going to put something down, right? That's the difference of it. So that's it. This is a really quick lesson for today. I wanted to keep it short. But yeah, so the difference between sit and set. Sit is usually, here, we'll go back. Sit is usually something that living things do, right? People sit down. Dogs, cats sit down. But sometimes in English, people will say, I left it sitting on the counter, right? They'll be like, oh no, I left my milk sitting on the counter. So you're just like, wouldn't you use set because you put it there? Yeah, you probably would. And if you were speaking English, you know, following all of the rules. But for some reason, native English speakers will say, oh, I left it sitting on the counter. Or I left my keys. I set them on the counter. Um, Sitting and setting, that's why it's confusing, because sometimes people use it to describe something that they set down. But if you just remember, I use the word sit, I use the action word sit if I'm talking about something that is resting in a chair or like a seat, or if somebody's sitting in a resting position, but their body, the top half of their body is upright. So they're not laying down, but they're sitting up, right? So they sit, it's like it's resting, but your body is not lying down. So that's what sit is focused on. It's about the thing or the person resting, right? Whereas set is focused on, that's what you do when you put something down or place something. So it's not about the actual thing being, laying on something or sitting on something. It's focusing on the fact that it was put down. You put something down. Somebody else put something down. So that's the main difference between the two. And that's it for our lesson today.